graded wash is going to look a bit different. Why are the bristles on here so dumb? Okay, same thing though, I'm going to get my entire square wet. Looking at it from the side to make sure it's shiny and glossy everywhere, but that I don't have any actual puddles. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all my pigment right up at the top. And then I'm going to start pulling it down without renewing my pigment, right? I don't know if renewing my pigment is the right phrase there, but I'm not getting any more pigment on my brush. I'm going to get my brush clean and wet, nice and thirsty. I'm going to start that at the bottom and just kind of come back up to try and even that out. I don't think I made that any more even. Either way, we'll come back and do a second layer in a little bit. All right, on my graded wash, you can see it dried. Pretty nice gradient on there. Right here, you can see my paper ripped earlier, and I just didn't really do anything about it. So that's what's going on up in that corner. I'm not gonna stress about it. I am gonna put a second layer on here so that I can get my clouds in. Okay. So I'm just going to wet the square again. Oh, you can also see I splattered it from my other side. And something like that where I got it wet from another thing and where it's ripped. As far as I know, there's not really anything to really be done about that. They are just quirks of the medium that you just kind of have to roll with if you are like me and not super careful. I'm going to put all my pigment at the top, pull it down without getting any more pigment on my brush. Gonna get some clean water on my brush, but not a whole lot. Gonna dry it off a bit. And just come in here. You can see how that kind of evens things out a little bit. In case I'm gonna let that go, I'm gonna do my clouds. So I'm just going to come in here. Use a paper towel to just lift. I like, not paper towels, I like Kleenex. Paper towels often have a pattern, a texture on them. Maybe I'll just take some of the focus off of that. So, but Kleenex never have a texture, so you can just pick stuff up without stressing. I don't feel like I'm getting very good random shapes. I feel like I'm being too whatever. Okay, so on our graded wash, we are just going to create a little bit of kind of a fuzzy faraway tree line. And to do that, I'm going to wet just the bottom below that cloud. Below that cloud, make sure it's nice and wet. And then I'm going to come in here with my sap green, and I'm going to kind of start at the bottom. I've got sap green and some yellow on here. And then I'm going to stop well before, you can see here's my water line here. I'm stopping well before that and letting the paint kind of figure that out on its own. I don't like that I have such a solid line here, so I'm just going to do that. You can see the paint will spread inside the water kind of all on its own and create this kind of horizon for you. If we wanted to, we could then, you know, come in here with some darker stuff in the foreground while it's still wet. Just kind of create some fun textures in there. We'll see how that looks when it dries. Who knows? Okay, so on this one we did a graded wash. We practiced taking away, lifting color off, and then we did this nice spread in here with a wet on wet, and you can see how that creates kind of this fun organic looseness. Right here you can see I hit the top of my water line, which is not ever what we want to do, so I've got a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm just going to make that a little more organic looking. And that's our graded wash.